This is the frequency of business and wealth energy. Energetic wealth alignment, esoteric structuring, and investor mindset. And y'all see the date, August 15th, 2025. So I'm GM Bay. I'm an energy practitioner. I've been doing energy work, breath work, meditation, esoteric, occult knowledge, diving all the way down the rabbit hole since probably like 2005, 2004, around right there. When it comes to the energy work, I am quite experienced. See energy, feel energy, all of those good things, and I'm here to teach you how to do the same thing. We're gonna start with this one: business and wealth. That energy. Disclaimer: this is all from my own personal experience and what I'm doing. I'm a spiritual consultant. And because I am a consultant, I'm giving this information from my experiences based on my past to you and what I'm currently doing for free. That's what I'm here to do. So let's go ahead and jump into it. This is not any type of financial advice. This is just what I'm doing and what I see works for me and the energy of that. But you ain't got to take anything what I'm saying serious. Just say I'm a crazy person. Let's go. Okay, the truth about wealth energy. The wealth frequency, business and money are subgroups of the broader wealth vibration. This is true. So think of wealth as a big bubble, and then you have subcategories that are smaller into that bubble. The wealth family. Things that are a part of the wealth family is abundance, prosperity, success, fortune, and riches. And then things that are sub niches or subcategories of those groups is stuff like money, gold, silver, assets, But those things are accumulated from these things. Like riches would represent the currency of money coming in. When you stack it together, you have a fortune. When it's running, it's an abundance coming in. The prosperity is the quality of it. The success represents how did you get it. You usually get your fortune from being successful in the form of riches, and it comes in abundance. And the quality of it is prosperity. If you get a whole lot, that's that prosperity. To work with wealth, you must stimulate the wealth vibration within yourself. Create a space for wealth to flow. Align your energy with abundance. So everything has a vibration. The color of wealth usually represents the color of yellow. It's the color of the ego. Sometimes more like lime green, but it's more towards the yellow side. It's the color of the ego because in order to really generate wealth and success and money and abundance and fortune, you have to rise to the peak of the yellow zone. The yellow zone, again, it represents the ego. It represents having top materialistic, like you're an alpha in your field, whatever that is. That's what the yellow zone represents. And when you get to that point, where you're making it, like you just doing it, you from your knowledge, from your experiences, like from your worth, your value, you get into that yellow point. And when you start giving it back, then that's the green, the connection, the heart, the empathy. You are passing on your experiences and your information, your knowledge, your things that you have accumulated. You're passing it on back in exchange, for usually finances or some type of promissory notes. So that is what the wealth energy is. It's a combination of those two things, of the yellow zone and the green zone, which creates the wealth zone, and that's really what it is. That's why you always see money, success, fortune associated with yellow and green, because it is that color. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of these other words in here, they may have different colors. Like riches is not really orange. Riches is purple. Fortune is more of a reddish, reddish color, reddish orange. Abundance is more of a orangish yellow color. Prosperity, that is, I feel like prosperity, bright yellow. Success is blue. That is accurate though, because from most of the success, it comes from you speaking or you sharing your experience or sharing your knowledge verbally. Okay, the vibration of business and money. To capitalize on high level opportunities, you need proper skills, technical expertise, and competence required for a high level business investment. Solid structure, a well designed business or investment framework to capture and grow opportunities. Professional mindset, strategic thinking, and emotional resilience to navigate high stakes environments. The pros don't play with the rookies. This is true. The wealth energy works differently. Wealth, you see the magnet, it attracts the people, and the people attracts the expansion or the growth. Wealth energy won't just drop money into your lap without action. That's the reason why it's there, because a lot of people make the misconception by assuming that when you have the energy or the vibration or the frequency of wealth or money or all of that, when you stimulated those different type of vibrations, that is just going to drop it instantaneously out of sight. That's not how it works. Sometimes you may get, you may come across it like that, especially if you got a good combination of luck, the energy of luck and the energy of money, then yeah, it's color math. But 9 times out of 10, they will present themselves in opportunities for you to be able to take advantage to generate these things. So it's like once you start stimulating the wealth energy, you may always be around people that like got a lot of money. You may be around a lot of people who's doing stuff. When you start stimulating the success energy, people who are consistently successful, you'll meet them in different random freak type moments, and you'll see a pattern of where you always meeting people. If your fortune, you're meeting a lot of people who have great fortune, a lot of money, different things like that. But it says, the pros don't play with the rookies. So just because you stimulating the energy don't mean that you're ready to actually participate and play with the rookies. And I know this from personal firsthand. Like I was always able to get money, but getting money and doing business properly, with big money, it's not the same thing. So you have to know the rules, and you have to know how the business game works with money. And that means, knowing about the different types of corporations, knowing about promissory notes, knowing about performing notes or non-performing notes, knowing about credit lines and credit, knowing about debt, knowing you have to know this financial system and how our economy works, because you're stimulating a energy that is the foundation of that. So if you want that, then you have to be able to stimulate the energy. That is what do you call it? It's a byproduct of stimulating the energy. So keep that in mind. I know you guys probably haven't ever heard anything like this, but it is what it is. Man, see with your eyes closed, and you will see what it is. The chakra colors and wealth energy. Primary wealth chakras. Again, yellow is more of the wealth chakra. Green is more of the health chakra, but healthy wealth is still the same thing, because you want your money to do good, you want your business to do good, be healthy. You want that to be good for yourself, and also again, it's color magic. Color magic. That's true, but it's color math. The colors or the energies work together, and they create different energies or different situations based on what colors go together. For example, if you are speaking passionately about something, or if you're passionate about something, that's red. You're super worked up about it. You're passionate. It's like, man, you see red. It's a driving force. You got to get it off your. You get excited about it. That's red. But when you're speaking about something, especially from an intellectual level, that's blue. And when you're excited speaking about something, then red and blue equals purple. Now you're dropping that knowledge. You feel me? That higher knowledge, and it's resonating higher because of the frequency. So yes, color math. Let's start with yellow. Ego, status, personal power, governs self-esteem, confidence, and visibility. This is being seen. Think of celebrities, superstars, different things like that. A balanced yellow zone allows you to be social, command respect in your field, and take decisive action. So basically, think of like people who perform the best in their field. It doesn't have to just be on a super professional like superstar level like celebrities, but it could just be somebody like a manager or a CEO, at a company or in the field, because they have reached a certain level. You know, somebody who has a lot of yellow and maybe the superstar on a high school team or a college team. It could be a superstar in a class. Yes, it's again combinations of it, but it's like they excel at that thing. That's what the yellow is. And they are usually recognized for excelling in that thing. They get that award, that yellow badge, that badge of honor, which is usually yellow or gold. Let's go to the heart. Health, connection, and value relates to compassion, connection with others, and providing genuine value. So this is when you getting stuff off your chest. You speaking passionately with love. And more empathy with it because there's more of a connection. It's the first component of love. Lower love is what it would be considered. A healthy green zone is essential for building strong business relationships and offering products that truly serve the need. So, once you graduated from the yellow zone and you get to the green zone, you start giving back to others. Depending on how much yellow you have or how loud your yellow is, you're going to tax for what you're giving. If you don't have a lot of yellow, then you'll probably just give it for free, but you won't make money like that. Now, even if you're giving it for free and you did your business right, then it'd be like a nonprofit or something like that. You'll still be stimulating, so that's why the business side is very crucial. It's important. But yeah, healthy green zone is essential for building strong business relationships and offering products that truly serve the needy. So once you rise past that point of yellow, your expertise, you start giving back to others. You're going to give back to others in courses. You're going to give back to others in products, or you're going to give back to others in some type of services or information. And those things will make connections and it will help them. And by them being helped, then you're going to generate more of abundance and wealth to you because you're the one who helped them. Orange, abundance and creativity. This is it's the creation zone. The sexual zone is the abundance zone, because when you got a good flow, it's abundance. Like different things. Creativity. While not primarily business chakra, it influenced creativity and the flow of abundance, supporting generation of new ideas and opportunities. Because orange is also tied to the excitement. It's more of the excitement than the passion. It's an excitement type of passion. Like red would be more of the straight fuel. It's like, man, laser point focus. Yeah, that's what the red is. But the orange adds more to it. It gives it more abundance. That's what it does. Purple. I don't know why that sounds crown. Definitely not the crown. Third eye would be richest spiritual connection, and it's associated with higher consciousness and wisdom. The concept of riches connect to the frequency, implying wealth that is aligned with a greater purpose. Yes, once you start reaching the highest peaks and leading people, or you start in helping people grow on mass levels, you are more in your purple zone. More royal. There's more of that royal riches type of energy. The human energy system viewed through the chakra spectrum reveals specific energy centers that govern various aspects of wealth creation. Aligning with these energy frequencies is essential for manifesting prosperity. That's true. Also, other things that come at play is your environment. Like, if you are stimulating wealth, or if you're stimulating, wealth, abundance, success, things that have to do with that, and you're doing it on the day of Thursday, that's the day of working with Jupiter, like today, that wealth energy is going to be stronger because that planet governs success. It governs wealth. It governs semi-abundance. Abundance is more on Friday with green and pink. Love and passion, or love and compassion, love and yeah, generation of the romance. But yes, so that's important. So I lost my train of thought. But yes, so generating those energies are essential for generating that energy, basically. Clearing and activating the wealth zones. Common blockages. Yellow, self-doubt, fear of visibility, weak personal power. That's true. Yellow has it was one of my weakest ones that I'm working on, even still to this day. And that's part of why I'm doing this, because I never really wanted to put myself out there and all the information, and did more speaking publicly and showing my face, but something I have to work on, and this is helping me do that. So yellow, self-doubt, fear of visibility, weak personal power. Green, poor connection, resistance to giving, receiving value. So it's hard time connecting to others, and it's hard to give or receive, value. Childhood things. I think working on my yellow and my green was also. I mean, I had other zones too. Like when you born turned up in certain areas. In certain areas, it may not be as loud. And you have to learn to work with those things over time. For me, my red, orange, blue, and purple, and some gold was loud. Maybe pink, but other colors, it wasn't as, and I had to work on those, especially blue. I definitely had to work on that, but green and yellow as well. Definitely yellow and green. And in fact, my orange was too loud. So while some colors may be understimulated, some may be overstimulated. Like for me, orange, purple, and red was too loud, So yeah, working on it. Clearing techniques. Targeted meditation, focus on specific centers. This is true. Stimulate those centers. I have apps and books to help you guys with this. If you are interested, hit me up, or leave it in the comments. In the description. Journaling, uncovering limiting beliefs. I also have a digital app that is a digital journal. It is a mindfulness digital journal. I'll leave that in there too. Energy healing, removing blockages, surrounding awareness, maintain consciousness of vibes. Yellow zone, ego, status. Green zone, connection. Orange zone, creativity. Purple zone, riches, royalty. Primary focus, yellow zone and green zones. These zones govern personal power and the connection to essential for business success. Key insight, align secondary colors, orange and purple, for robust wealth and frequency. You still need to plan in vehicle. So that is the purpose of this as well, because the energy is just one part. Then you got to do the work. The work is usually tied to paperwork and action. A lot of thinking, a lot of action. The wealth amplifier. Wealth energy is an amplifier, but it cannot build wealth in a vacuum. It requires a tangible structure, a vehicle to catch and grow opportunities. That's what the business is. The business is for you to bring the wealth to one area and to stimulate, the connection of exchange between your customers and the services, products, or information you're providing. The wealth energy will have it in abundance, but it'll be like trying to drink out of a straw with, it's kind of clogged up. You're not going to be able to drink like anything out of the straw, especially if it's clogged up and dry. You got to clean it out first to get a clean flow. So that's what you have to do. And the bigger the receiver or the funnel is, the more you'll be able to generate. So that's why it's important to clean and then expand it as well. The three commitments: learning business, study marketing, sales, finances, and operations. That's important. You need to learn how marketing and advertising works, selling. You have to know how to sell, talk to people. You have to know what do people actually want to buy, pay attention to the market. You have to know finances, like learn the game of finances, learn what debt is, learn how our current failing fiat Federal Reserve debt-based system works. Our dollar has lost probably over 90% of its purchasing power. Some say it's even closer to 98%. So, and that has been since 1971, even though it already was losing a lot of purchasing power when we got off, when they took away gold the first time, in Roosevelt in 1933. So it was already doing bad, but when they took us off the gold standard, it just started to collapse more, which is why inflation is moving how it's moving, and why things are not like how it was the previous generation, the previous two generation, our grandparents' generation. Like the baby boomers grew up in a world with a strong dollar, so things was different for them. A strong dollar, even though the tech was a little slower and things wasn't as fast, it was a stronger foundation. Now it's more money moving, but the money is not as strong. It doesn't hold as much power. So much that we're going into a different type of currency and a different type of financial system. Be aware of blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, and Bitcoin. Know about the game of finance. Understanding the game. Bingo, perfect on time. The strawman concept. Part of knowing the game is knowing what are the players and who are the players in the game and who are you. Currently, you probably are all capital letter name. Look at any of your letters from the state or anything from the banks, or anytime you have something from a corporation, is usually in all capital letters. That's not you. That is your strawman. You are a completely different entity. I'm not going to go into that because I don't want this video to get blocked in. I want to actually post these things, and I don't want to get banned. So if you want to know more about that, hit me, reach out, and then, we could put something together. There's a distinction between the natural person and the legal person, or strawman. Just gave you that. By law, you are recognized as a corporate entity. Legal and commercial systems operate through corporate identities. So that is why our system works how it works. Whether you're dealing with judges, you're dealing with the prison system, whether you're dealing with bills, whether you're dealing with banking, whether you're dealing with credit scores, all of these things, the system, that's how it works. It works through corporate identities. So what you need to do is, let's go to it. Strategic mastery. Don't fight the system, master the rules. I know personally because I was a person that was trying to get out of this system since I found out that the system was a system. And I found out the system was a system a long time ago. And I started learning in detail about it in high school when I was in the 10th grade. And from that point, I started going deeper and deeper and deeper and finding out how it actually functions. And I spent so much time trying to get out of the system, going away from trying to use the dollars, trying to use things, to going into trying to do other things. So I learned within the last few years that it's a whole lot easier to just go with the system, and not saying participate and be complicit or do fuckery like the system, but as far as play the rules, play the game like it's supposed to be played, and you'll do good. And that means establishing businesses, learning how corporations work, learning how again, instead of trying to not use debt or trying to disable your straw man or get access to that, or all of the things that they would talk about, like being a sovereign or being a Moor, that kind of stuff. Be a businessman and go the other route and get some money and just play the game, because it's a whole lot easier. It's a whole lot harder to get out the system and still be in the system than it is to just play the game of the system and just win in the game. It's literally the same. It's the same rule book. It's just one side is trying to exit and not participate in the system at all, And the other side is you know that it's a game and you're playing the game the right way. That's the only difference. So don't fight the system. Master its rules. Just play the game. Play the game. Form your own corporation to operate at the highest level. Basically, do in the game, create you a corporation how they created a corporation out of you. Protect your personal assets and gain structural advantages. Know what's tools in the corporation and what does what. This is how one plays the game at the highest level. Shout out to my mentor, Derek Whitehead. Okay. The blueprint of the game. Creation, purpose, rules. Yeah, well, I probably would speak in backwards. The purpose, creation, and then the rules. Esoteric business structuring. Business structure as energetic tools. So I'm gonna go over a little bit different from this, even though I am gonna go over this. It's all kinds of different corporations, but each corporation has its own different function. So you want to think of it like tools in a very basic toolbox, or when you first get a set of tools, usually they'll come with like 5 to 7 tools. You know, it'll be some pliers, it'll be a wrench, it'll be a screwdriver, it'll be some wire cutters. You know, it'll be a couple of simple things. You know, that's about it. And they all have their own specific different function, and each function, you know, has its own way to use that tool. Like, you're not going to use pliers for a job for a screwdriver. It's not going to work. You're not going to use a screwdriver, you know, for a wire cutter. It's not going to work. You have to use the tool for its proper job. And each corporation or business has its own one. So you have DBAs or sole proprietorships. You have you have the strawman, which is tied to something else, you know, like their system, but what you use with your social. And then you have LLCs, which is basically for defense. You have different types of trust and ministries. You have S corporations, you have C corporations, and you have holding corps, shelf corps. You have a whole bunch of different things, you know. Each one has its own different purpose. We're not going to go over all of them, but we're going to go over the basic ones right now. So C corporation is the big boy. This is used for getting money. Expansion and scaling amplifies growth, attracts investors, create a powerful vehicle for large scale impact. We help people get this. Again, shout out to my mentor at Derek Whitehead, Economic Masonry. I am an affiliate with them. This is not an affiliate video, but I am an affiliate with them. I have went through the process, and I am doing this, and that's why I know. On top of, again, I said I just started to stop running from trying to escape the system and just start playing the game as it was played. Since we are in this grand finale. You know, that's what I decided to do, and it's working exactly how it's supposed to work. Going with it, the flow, and then you just take that, and then you also, for the trust, that's for getting out of the system. You know, if you do anything about sovereign citizenship or about Moors, then you already know that they talk about trust a lot. Again, I know this is a little advanced. If you need like beginner stuff, tap in with me. I get you set up. So that's what the C-Corp was for. LLC, flexibility and protection, provides a secure, adaptable container that shields personal assets and allows for fluid operational changes. So LLCs are for risky things, as my mentor likes to say. It's for like stuff like truck driving. It's for stuff like doing events. Like I used to do a lot more events. I still do a little ones, but they're not the same kind of events. But we'll have big concerts, big parties, bringing out celebrities like Trina, the Yin Yang Twins, Chris Brown, you know, other people as well. And these things are dangerous, you know, because stuff can happen. Anybody can get hurt because there's so many people gathering. You got alcohol, you got, you know, people who have their own personal problems. It's all kinds of stuff. So much problems that you got to sometimes have the police, you got to have security, you got to, you know, like you have to do a lot. That needs a LLC because it's dangerous, you know. But other kinds of businesses that gets more funding, like a C corporation, it may be something like tech, you know, it may be something like AI. something like doing something with robotics. It's not really going to be something that's as risky as doing a concert. Well, unless those robots are killer robots, then yeah. But that's I kid. But yeah. So legacy for trust. It is for your legacy. It's for passing it on down the road. Legacy and flow control. Establish a long-term channel for wealth, ensuring its preservation is and directed flow across generations. So yes, these things work in tandem with each other, and you are supposed to use them together. The trust is what protects everything. The LLC is the defense. The C corporation is the offense. It's different type of positions, and they're different tools. They're different business tools. So effective implementation. The first thing you want to do, you want to visualize what you're going to do. The next thing you want to do after you visualize on it, and really visualize on it, I'm talking about like really see what you want vividly every day, like really go for it. Then you're going to meditate on it. And after you meditate on it, you're going to start to get ideas and thoughts, and things is going to start to form. You're going to take that and you're going to make a plan. After you get your plan and you cross reference and you start to work out your plan, then you're going to act on your plan. Then you're going to pray about your actions that you just took about your plan, and then you're going to repeat. You're going to keep repeating the process until you're successful, and that's how it works. Visualize, meditate, plan, act, pray, repeat. That's the process. Investors' energy routine. Daily practices for energetic alignment in high stakes markets. Morning breathing. This is for, I like to trade. I'm an investor, but I love to trade. And trading is so difficult psychologically, because the key to trading is you can't be upset when you're losing, and you can't be happy when you win it. That is a mind fuck. Trust me. But it helps a lot. And this type of stuff actually helps a lot more when you do it with trading, or just in general with business, when you start in your day. So morning breath work. Begin each day with conscious breathing exercises. 2, calm the nervous system and clear mental fog. Oxygenate the brain for heightened awareness. Create focus for market analysis and decision making. Essential for analyzing market data with clear judgment. Market success visualization. Dictate time to mentally rehearse desired outcomes. Visualize the charts moving in your favor. See successful trades executed flawlessly. Feel the achievements of financial targets. I'm not going to lie. Yes, that feels good and starts you in your day, but don't just bank on it, and don't. It still happens where things go the other way, but you want to consistently be okay with things going the other way. Focus more on you seeing the success. Attune your energy to the frequency of success. Bingo. Attune your energy to the frequency of success. Mindset training. Cultivate these key virtues of a master trader. Be patient. Patience. Wait for the perfect opportunity without anxiety. That's super hard. Harder said than done. Precision. Execute trades with accuracy and confidence. Also hard, because you're going to be wondering and you're going to be like, is it ready? But still do it. Power moves. Act decisively on the high conviction opportunity. If you make your move, let it ride. That's one thing I've learned about trading is just, let your test it, back test, practice. Like FX trader, practice, and get the emotions under control. And then, when you set something and you feel like you got a strategy, work out, stick on that strategy, stick to the script, don't overtrade, and let it ride. Closing power statement. My favorite part. Wealth is both a frequency and a game. Learn the vibration, master the structure, play with purpose. This all goes together. Wealth, purpose, energy, and strategy. Win with energy. I got some wealth apps. Two wealth apps, a crypto app and a wealth app that'll help you a lot with it. Go to energy apps. That's my link tree. I put it in the description. Also follow me at Grandmaster Bay on TikTok and Instagram, and I have it in there too. Drop some comments. Tell me, guys, what you guys think about this. And yeah, I want to see everybody win. I want to win. I want to see everybody win. Like, I'm winning, but I want to win more. And I know that I'm going to win a whole lot more by helping others win. Then we'll win together. So I want to help as many people as I can win, because that will help me win and get to where I want to be. And I want to see a nation of winners, like for real, an empire. All right. Peace out. Love y'all. We'll catch y'all on the flip side.